Hello, everybody, and welcome to F1 Down Under. My name's Hayley,
And I'm Matt.
and welcome to Miami. So, this is the Miami Sprint weekend.
Yeah, well, straight after the Chinese one.
Yeah.
2 sprints in a row.
So, we've got Miami's been with us for only 2 years now, so it'll be interesting how they handle the sprint weekend.
Yep. I think it's been quite interesting, the results previously as well. They've been a little bit mixed up. There've been different people on pole and qualifying and things like that. So quite a hard one to predict, I think.
Yes. So, speaking of predictions, let's get into the poll for the sprint weekend.
Okay, sprint pole. It's hard because you've got a little limited practice, so it can be a little bit mixed up. So I'm going to go out on a limb, particularly after the last race. I'm going to go Lando.
Well, I was also thinking of a McLaren. I was thinking Lando Norris as well because he did so well in China, and I believe the McLarens are bringing upgrades this weekend.
I think so, yeah.
So that's why I went for the McLarens.
In agreement.
In agreement.
But then what happens in the race?
That's a different story. So obviously we've got our sprint podium now. Who do we think is going to be at number 3?
Number 3 for the sprint podium. I'm going to say George Russell.
Ooh,
Throw a curveball.
that is a curveball. I'm going to say Carlos Sainz. Being consistent, I think he's just going to...
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm. You see, I'm Carlos for second.
I'm going to say Fernando Alonso for second. He's been up there in previous years. The Aston's looking really strong.
Yeah. And okay, yeah, that makes sense. But what about pole? What about first place in the race?
So,
Do you think Lando can make it through?
Depends on those upgrades.
Yeah.
I reckon, and depends on who's behind him. But I do feel like maybe a Red Bull might take it. So I do think Max Verstappen will get the podium.
Well, I'm being more radical. I'm going to go with Sergio. He's still a Red Bull. He's done well at this track traditionally. So yeah, I think in the sprint race he might just have enough to do that, keep Max at bay. But yeah, I guess that leads into then you have qualifying for the main race straight after. So, and maybe that's also why I'm thinking Max might not push it because you don't want to wreck your car right before qualifying.
So who's your pole sitter then for quali for the main race?
For the main race, I'm going to go with Carlos Sainz.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Ferrari. I just think they had a bit of weren't quite so quick in China, but they've done pretty well in Miami previously. I think Carlos is at the minute racing really well.
I'm gonna be a bit boring. The Red Bulls have looked strong on previous years as well, so I'm gonna go Max Verstappen.
Yeah, that makes sense. I did think about that, but I'm curious. I think the sort of Adrian Newey and the saga might just distract a little bit from them.
But
might shake it up.
But we'll have to see what the new upgrades bring. Anyway, so our podium for the Sunday race. This is
Sunday race. Yeah. So do I think Carlos is going to stay in the front?
So who's number 3 for you?
Number 3 for me, I'm going to go with Lando Norris.
I've gone for a McLaren as well. I think the McLaren's going to look strong on this circuit. I've also gone for Lando.
Okay. What about second place?
This one was hard for me because it's whether my inner Mercedes want me to win or do I look realistically. Sorry. I think a Ferrari will be up there, so I've gone for Carlos Sainz.
Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna. I think I'm gonna go with Sergio.
Mhm.
I think Sergio in second.
And then who is your poll winner?
Race winner.
Race winners.
Look, I'm gonna go with Carlos. I think he actually is going to do well. I don't know. I got an inkling around something with Max this weekend, but who knows?
Well, if Max goes buzzing, I think it'll be Max. If not, maybe Sergio's. But I've got to go Max, I think. If Max gets pole, then I think he'll be off.
Yeah.
So, so
What about the weekend wish? What do you think, or what would you like to see this weekend?
I would like the Haas, I think, to get some points because the Haas has performed, especially with Nico Hulkenberg, the last few races they've been to Miami. So I think the
Well,
Haas, I would like the Haas to score
I
some
think that's a good
points.
shout. I think Nico Hulkenberg's done really well at this circuit previously, so
That's my weekend wish.
I,
Haas to score
I think
points.
that's a good possibility. Um, what's my weekend wish? I'd kind of I would like to see actually like Valtteri Bottas do well. I think the kick Sauber, it would
Hmm.
be good to get them mixing it up. Um,
Be a bit more mixed up grid.
I know I normally like sort of I would love to the Williams to do well, but that's kind of like a standing season wish. So for my weekend, I'd still like them to do well, but I think it would be good to see Sauber push themselves. And Valtteri's done well at this circuit previously, so yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, we'll have to find out at the weekend. So speed F1 under, down under. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.